It's the start of a new year. Happy New Year. Welcome to the Lowdown here on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Eche Atiso. I'm your host as always. Today we are at the Ghana Hydrological Authority. We're just coming from the holidays and there were questions about why there was no harmattan but a lot of rain. And a lot of rains also means that we're talking about drainage and all the management systems in between that. Here at Hydro, whether you are aware what they do or not is the reason we're bringing you this interview, and I'm here to speak with the head of drainage at the Hydro. His name is Richard Ameko. Right, I got your name right.
You're right.
Yes. How are you doing?
By His grace, I'm well. I'm okay.
Okay.
Once the good Lord has given us good health, we have to be grateful.
Wonderful. We're in a new year, and like I was saying, there were rains from the last 2 months. People did not experience harmattan, and it forms a central part of what you do, and it's why we are here. First of all, let's just get right into it. When we say the Ghana Hydrological Authority, you are under which ministry? Works and Housing?
Ministry of Works.
Okay. Housing and water resources.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's hydro? What do you do? Because I don't imagine a lot of Ghanaians know about hydro that much.
Okay, thank you very much. And good morning to your viewers once again. Yes, Happy New Year to everyone. Yes, so we used to be Hydrological Services Department.
Okay.
Yeah, under the Ministry of Works and Housing. And then in 2021, the bill, the Ghana Hydrological Authority Act bill was sent to Parliament.
Okay.
And then 2022, it was assented by the President to be now Ghana Hydrological Authority. Yes. So the few things we do, or the main things we do for the country, is to establish or to promote and deliver hydrological services for planning, design, execution, operation, and maintenance of flood control mechanisms. Aside that, we do coastal engineering works, we do drainage improvement works, and then applied hydrology as well.
It means that anything to do with the flooding, management, drainage, that's central to your work.
Exactly so.
But all this while we've imagined there are organizations like Nkommo and all these other departments under the ministry that handle that.
Yes, we do. There is this collaboration with Nkommo,
okay,
Water Resources Commission, and all those water agencies. It's a collaborative, something we always do. It's just that Hydro, we are not loud out there. So we thank you for, coming to our house and then to know what we do. Yes, since we are not loud, that is why. But most of the storm drains you see around, it's been done, designed and implemented by Ghana Hydrological Authority.
So most of the engineering works,
yeah,
that take care of drainage,
yes, storm drains,
handled by you.
Storm drains, ideally.
Storm.
Yes.
Okay.
So our mandate is on the primary drains and the secondary ones. If I say primary, I mean the bigger ones.
Yes.
For instance, the Odo. If you go to Alajo, I don't know whether you know Alajo very well.
Yes, I know very
well. If you go to Tema on the motorway, you see those streams, the Mama Human stream, the Kojo, and then the Lafa at Malam area.
Okay.
All those storm drains are barely our responsibilities. Yeah.
It means that you handle a great deal of work, but like I've said, we've not heard much about what you've been doing. And also I talked about rains and flooding. How easy a job is it for you to do in managing the flooding situation in the country, the drainage situation and all that?
Yes, to respond to your question, we have other regional offices as well.
Okay.
If you go to the Western region, we have a regional office there that is monitoring all our rivers and then streams in the region. If you go to Ashanti region, we have. If you go to the Northern region, we have Upper East, we have Volta region, and then so all these areas there are regional offices with staffs. Yeah. So and in Greater Accra too, we monitor. But the good thing is that because we work in hand with the local authorities, the municipal assemblies, yes. So most of the informations we get from all those people as well, and other agencies. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious because we're in a new year, and obviously in 2025 we did not experience major flooding situations. I don't know if you have the numbers as to what it looked like in the past year. There was a lot of rain in 2025 actually across the country. Did we experience any major floods anywhere? And how did the authority actually handle that regarding the drains that you're talking about? We'll come more into. I want to find out more about whether you have enough to work or handle the situation. But I want to find out last year, how was the work for you?
Okay, so if we say if we have enough, are you referring to resources or the expertise?
But we'll come to that. We'll come to the resources, expertise, the support from the right authorities, all of that. How well are you working? But first of all, I want to find out how your 2025 was in managing floods and all of that.
Well, I may say it wasn't that too bad. The word is management, and in every situation you just have to manage it, because now that we are having climate change and urbanization is increasing and people are developing, not controlling development, definitely we encounter these issues. And these are issues that we discuss day in and day out, how to control development and other in terms of waste management. Yes, there are some places that do flood in Accra, even if there is a shower of rain, which we all know. These places are low-lying areas in Accra. Notably, if you go to Santa Maria area, if you go to some portion of the N1 at Wager, SEC barrier, and then if you go to Carnation too, we do have some major floods there. If you go to Adenta Enclave, if you go to Ayimensa area, OEB, these issues, or there are some places we're not experiencing flooding some years past, but because of the way we are unable to control development and manage our land use and our land cover, it's costing us a lot.
So it's a problem that has got to do with planning, our cities as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
that's one of the reasons.
Yes. And the issue is that, you see, government do not have the resources to put in the measures before a land is sold. And the land tenure issue in Ghana belongs to the chiefs and the rest. So before you realize, the individuals have already gone to settle there, gone to build those places without taking into consideration or account of putting in any drains or to take up the surface runoff. Let me take you into a bit technical.
Okay.
Where you have vegetation, if I say vegetation, you understand,
yes.
Where you have some greens on some trees and the rest. If it rains, the trees receive some of the rainwater, and then the grass, and then the ground also receives some. So you have some level of infiltration into the soil.
But that's not the case lately. A lot of our trees have been cut down.
Exactly. So these are all contributing to the climate change we are talking about. So And in as much as we are removing the vegetations and we are not compensating, we are not putting in place measures to at least mitigate it, and it rains a bit, it's water definitely find its lowest point to.
But we've had government initiatives where they're planting trees and all of that. I know it might not be under your...
Of course.
Yes, but is that not to address some of these issues going forward?
Oh yeah. So it's one of the, now the world is changing. Now we're trying to look at nature-based solutions. Okay, we need to plant some trees. We need to grow some grass. We need to have some porous materials in terms of paving. You understand? So that when it rains, at least there could be some percentage of infiltration. Some of the things that the assembly has the laws that if you want to develop, there's a percentage area that's of your land that you could put up your building, which is the high standing, and then have some percentage area for greenery. But because the laws are not enforced, we don't do them. And you find out that you go to a lot of, sorry to use the so-called rich people's homes, you don't see grass, you see pavement everywhere, tiles everywhere. So when if it rains, where would the water go? It doesn't infiltrate. It runs to the lowest point. Then it goes to people downstream somewhere that do not have any idea. So the plan is, we're trying to look at the upstream side. Now that you're coming from here, I know you know Ebri very well.
Yes.
I'll use Ebri as a case study for us to look at. Before you could see Ebri was greenery, isn't it?
Yes, it used to.
But now, see what is happening there.
The population is growing. The size of the cities, I mean, more people are coming in and all of that.
Of course, I agree. But then, if you want to put up a structure over there, there should be a way of, reducing the rainwater. You go there, whether they harvest, they're supposed to harvest water, they're supposed to have some greens, they're supposed to, but you go there, you find everywhere tile, everywhere hardened. So if you're on the hill, you don't have any problem. But people living downstream of the hill, if you go to Danfa, go to Oyibi, get into Adenta area, they'll be suffering now. Because if it rains, from there it comes down to them. So before, if it takes like, let's say, 2 hours for water to get to people at Danfa, now within the next 5 minutes, it gets to them. But because that you don't have adequate drainage structures, it's not able to convey flow, accept flow. I hope you understand me.
Yeah.
So then it overwhelms and then floods the whole community. So if people want to develop upstream, okay, at least there should be some measures put in place. Have some rainwater harvesting.
And whose work is that?
It's assembly, the local authority. Before they approve your building permits, they might say that, okay, you might say you will do A, B, C, D. Okay, which looks good on paper, approved, but they have to ensure that all those measures are put on ground. But do they? That's the question. And now what is happening is that, God has designed the whole geography, the topography in such a way that there are some hill areas, there'll be some valleys at some points. So then that if it rains, water could collect at some point. That's why we have reservoirs, we have these ponds, micro ponds within our communities. Ask me, go there now. You don't even find any. You don't find any. People are feeling. You see.
When we come back from the break, I'm going to ask you, because we're talking about the causes and all of that, about human behavior and how that is also affecting some of these things that have to do with your work. But that will be after we come back from the break. This is still the Lowdown here on GhanaWeb TV. We'll be back shortly. welcome back. My guest is Engineer Richard Ameko. He is the head of drainage at the Ghana Hydrological Authority. I wanted to find out what you make of, we've spoken about planning, the inaction of the assemblies and all of that in terms of how people build, where they build and all of that, so that it doesn't affect some of these things that have to do with, yes, flooding and the like. But there's also the factor of human error, or what human behavior is that central to some of the reasons we continue to experience floods.
Exactly so. But then I could say that when this administration came, I don't know whether you recall that because of these inactions of our human causes, President has formed anti-tax flood force to manage these situations. And I could say that it has really yielded some positive results. In some sense that, I don't know whether you follow, recently there were some people developing in the Nkommo Lagoon area.
Yes.
The regional minister was there. There were a lot of task force there to bring those structures down. And you could see that now it is serving as a deterrent to others as well. So people are a bit cautious now, moving into wetlands to develop. Do you understand? So in that sense, yes, it is also helping. And it is a very good call from the president to bring that on board. You know, in Ghana, if you want to develop some areas, sometimes you go there. There are some places, there are no-going areas. You can't go there. You dare not. You know already.
Yes.
These are our
the Ramsar sites and all these
land issues and the rest. Yes. But now, if like go in there and start developing, you will see. So I think it's something that we really appreciate from the presidency for what they've brought on board. It used to be a very difficult task for us. Me sitting here, what strength do I have? What power do I have to go and tell somebody developing there that stop? The only thing that we could do is to advise the assembly. You understand? And the onus lies on the assembly to enforce it. So now that this part of the issue solving from the presidency has come, it's a welcoming news for us, and it has brought some sanity into the system.
You also spoke about managing works around the coastal lines.
Yes, yes.
And I know that in the last few years, with all the conversations around the tidal waves washing into communities, even here in Accra, around Dansoman, I remember there was a time I went there to do some work, and there's an entire coastline that has been swept off. We can mention the likes of Ketu South, the Keta areas, even into the western region and the like. How is the situation with that? How are you managing to ensure, working with all the right authorities, the right bodies, to ensure that we are averting or ensuring that the very source of blessing, the sea and all of that from God, doesn't come to destroy people's homes and all of that?
Yes, I think I could just throw some small light on this, because in this office we have heads for all those. There's a head of coastal who manages that.
Okay.
But maybe I can just throw some few lights on it. Yes, there are a few works ongoing along the coastlines.
Okay.
Recently, was last year or so, President Cast sought for the Brekusu. I don't know whether you heard
Yes.
So Amandi, they are working there seriously.
Okay.
Yeah. If you go to Dansoman also, work is ongoing. Along the coast, there are pockets of areas that these measures are put in place to prevent the sea erosion and then the flooding as well. But I'll leave this for
those in charge directly. But how is it looking? Are we winning the fight? Are we on track?
Oh yes, we are on track. I may say yes. I may say we are on track. But then it's all boils down to resources. You understand? It's very expensive. I mean, putting up all these structures.
You say structures. What kind of structures?
Oh, I mean
the storm drains you've mentioned.
The drains,
what else?
The coastal protection works.
Okay.
The sea defenses.
The sea defenses.
The revetments and then the groins they put in there. If you go to your Keta, you see what is being done there. Yeah, they are quite expensive.
How much of how much support or how intense is it? Do you have the needed?
Yes, but I think with what they are doing at Blekusu, it's looking good, but it's expensive. I know you can find out online. Yeah, and we hope government to bring more resources, more funding for a long stretch to be done. Yes, the same thing applies to the drainage aspect. We pray for more resources, and then people must also stop some inactivities of at least changing their lifestyle of, waste management. It's a big challenge. Let's assume that government brings a whole resources. Now that we have two major drainage basins that we want to look at this year, which is the Adenta. And recently, was it last year or so? There was a heavy downpour in Adenta. The whole of Adenta was submerged. I don't know whether you
Parts
remember.
of it.
Part of it. We could say that was
Adenta. That is my area.
Is your area?
Yes, but I mean, I know the areas
70%.
Well,
70% of
the
Adenta.
other side of Adenta, not main Adenta.
Yes.
And it was a big issue.
And you know the reason?
Tell me.
Good. What is happening at the breeze is a contributing factor. The ponds, the micro ponds we have in Adenta, from our area, they're all gone. So now if it rains, where will the water stay? That's their reservoirs to hold water for some time before releasing it gradually into the. But all is leaving, you see. So, and government will bring money, you go and invest into it, and our attitude will not help the structure to sustain or be resilient. What happens?
But we've spoken about attitude a number of times. How is that being tackled? Don't we have any system in place to get people penalized? You mentioned.
Oh yeah, there are. I mean, all these things are with the assembly.
Okay.
You know, this punishment and everything. I mean, all those things are within the assembly. Somebody goes to do something bad somewhere, the assembly have the right to take the person to court and then search out the person. So if we are to set some people as an example, I'm sure it will serve as a deterrent to others as well. So the last time, I don't know, I mentioned it somewhere that it's about time we have to forgo this human face attitude, you know, because you know me, I go do something bad, then you have to call me and then to help you out. I know it's a big challenge for the nation, but gradually we'll get there.
Okay. Yeah. With all that we have in place, even as we hope for more, do you think that our cities are ready for, to fight floods? Any certain, you mentioned the example of Adenta. It was scary. People's houses were submerged. Are our cities ready to fight these water-related issues?
So I may say yes and no, because it could rain that is beyond everybody's imaginations and control.
Is that not why we have the meteorological agency and the like?
So yes, so they would forecast. Okay, another aspect of it is that as people, do we really follow the weather forecast? Do we listen at all? Do we consider it at all? That is where the challenge is. Meteo might say that, tomorrow it might rain heavily, so people should take care, people should be careful and the rest. But a lot of people don't even listen. So then at least if you know this, some areas that you think that might flood, there's no need for you to go to those areas. It's possible that the places could flood. But we have this flash floods. The good thing this year, beginning of the latter part of last year and this year, is that you've seen that the assemblies are doing a lot. They are desalting our drains. Okay. Now what is happening is most of our drainage works, drainage infrastructures are heavily silted, and they need to be desilted. You understand? They need to be, and currently the assemblies are doing that. I saw couples of works being done at some municipal assemblies, which is very good. We pray that we encourage them to continue. All our roadside drains are full, they are silted, heavily silted. That's why if it rains, the drains are not functioning. It's rather the road has become drained. It's not the result of the roadside ones because they are covered. So they are heavily silted. So it's good they are removing the slabs and cleaning them.
They are open drains.
Exactly. Okay. So it's a good call.
It's obvious that your work is very central to a lot of the things, because if we have floods and communities are devastated and all that, people cannot even work, and it will ultimately affect the economy and all that. If investors are coming in, or the government sits down today, wants to focus on something that hydro needs the most, what would it be?
Drainage management systems should be relooked at. You see, the issue is because of lack of resources, we are unable to do a comprehensive work approach to our drainage works. You get it? So we are not able to. We start the project because the funding is little. You end it at the point. You don't know as in when another one will come for you to continue. But if we have funding for, and then we say, okay, this is our priority, and this is how we are going as a nation, we'll tackle it basin by basin to solve all the flooding, the drainage infrastructure issues in the basin. It will help. But now, because of the resources we have, once we get it, we have to, split it for the whole country. So it's been done small. Some bottlenecks, changes on culverts and the rest. But then if we are to tackle it comprehensively, it will be, and I thank God for our minister's life. What we are doing at Ouija, recently he was there, he's really fighting for us to get resources to do a comprehensive work, which is the plus. He saw the need for us to do a comprehensive work to stop the flooding on that particular corridor. It's all the result of what is happening on the hills behind West's Mall. People are developing on the hill, so much flow is coming down to the main road.
Just very quickly, because we're running out of time. This year is 2026. We just started the year. What's the primary focus of hydro going to be?
Oh yes, in as much as we are looking at putting in the physical structures in terms of the drainage and then the coastal aspect, we are also trying to do some media engagement and some forum for people to understand the work we do and to know the seriousness of and the severity of flood, the heavy downpour when it comes. So this year we are going to do a lot of media engagements and then for people to know what's ahead.
Yeah. And we're grateful that you open your doors to us. I am most grateful. Thank you. We've just run out of time, but I'm sure we would take this on in other areas. Hopefully, when we need you for something, we'll call you.
Very well.
And we hope that you get all the help you need to be able to continue to do your work. So that's Richard Ameko. He's head of drainage at the Ghana Hydrological Authority. And I'm sure that you've at least gotten to hear a thing or two about what they do. So when you hear about floods, you should be thinking about hydro. So thank you for joining us here on the Lowdown, here on GhanaWeb TV. Remember to go to YouTube, look for GhanaWeb TV. Click on the subscribe button and also turn on the bell so that you are notified the next time we put up a video. Until another time, bye-bye.